Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla and today I'm giving a finance update for August 2025. Things were a little bit crazy as far as spending goes, so we'll talk about all of that. I'm also going to share my savings balances, my investments, which those are looking really good, as well as my net worth and an update on all of the goals that I set for the year. And then speaking of goals, I did set goals for the month of August specifically. One was to contribute at least $500 to my Roth IRA. I did do that. And then my second goal was to try to get 2 sponsorships, like have those contracts signed and, start working with a couple of brands. That did not happen. I did reach out to several brands. In August, I did have a call with one of those brands. They were literally like the only brand that responded back to me, but it's an app, a finance app that I use regularly and talk about fairly frequently on this channel already. So they got back to me. I had a call with them a couple of times actually. I sent them my rates. I was feeling really hopeful about things, feel really good about what I sent over, my packages, my offers, all of that. But then they said that they are no longer doing flat rate sponsors and it's like they're amping up their affiliate program. So that is still in the process of happening. And they actually updated me on the whole thing just this morning, which is good. So they're keeping me in the loop and I know that I'll at least be able to get into the new affiliate program and we'll see. But as an actual sponsorship, that's not working out. I did reach out, like I said, to several other brands, haven't heard back. I've followed up with several brands. I had a call with a brand just yesterday, so that's in September, and that is potentially happening. But aside from that, it's been a little bit tough and I'm gonna keep trying, follow up after a few weeks, but I can't do it every single day or anything because they're definitely gonna block me. So I didn't actually hit the goal, but I definitely tried. I was trying very, very hard, I would say, like actively working on this goal each week. So we'll see what's to come of that. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and hop to my spreadsheets. If you are interested in these spreadsheets, you can get them for free. That's linked down below in my description box. Mine looks a little bit different because I'm fully self-employed. The top part is focused on the business side of things. And then as I scroll down, that's more on the personal side of things. So I'll explain everything as I go through. And like I said, August was a little bit crazy. So fair warning that there is quite a bit of red here. So we overspent in several categories, but as a whole, the month was pretty strong and you'll see that. First up, for business revenue, I was expecting at least $4,000 and I made $4,945.53. I filmed short form content breaking down my income sources, so that's actually already up. I'll have it linked down below in my description box. Rollover business revenue, this is just money left in my business checking account from July that rolled into August. I was expecting $800. I actually had less than that, $465.42. And then I did not pull from my business sinking fund. Payroll is $2,500. 401k match, I budgeted $100, but in the month I actually bumped this up. And this was because with Guideline, which is I have my solo 401k through Guideline. The reason I went with them is because I already had my 401k with Guideline and then I was offered a full year for free. And now that year is up, I'm having to pay $49 per month in order to keep my solo 401k with them. And that's kind of expensive. Like that's $49 that I could actually be investing into my 401k. So I actually had decided I would increase my 401k contribution because I listened to something or read an article that was talking about like how beneficial just even 1% increase to your 401k can be. So I had already decided to do that. But then I was like, I don't want to pay $49 for Guideline. So I started the process of moving my funds to Fidelity. It's still going to be a solo 401k, but now I won't have to pay that $49 monthly fee. That is still happening. I have the Fidelity account open. So any new money added to my solo 401k is actually with Fidelity. That's where this $150 came in. And I was like, you know what, let me just make this even. So $75 per paycheck from myself as the employee and then $75 from the business, $150 total from both sides, or $300 total from both sides for the month. So I feel pretty good about that. And obviously it shows it's over budget, but it's technically a good thing. Payroll taxes, $191.25 is correct. Distribution, I expected, this is just transferring money from my business checking account to my personal checking account. I expected $1,400. This was $1,300 just because I didn't bring in as much money. Actual business expenses, I expected $150, and that's actually right on track. I spent $149.99. Insurance, $202.33 is correct. That covers my health insurance and my dental. And then business sinking fund, I wanted to save $200 there, and I did do that with some help of support. So I got some direct support from Katerina, from Eric, and Emma, and let me find those. Katerina bought me 2 coffees. That's equivalent to about $10. She said, I love your videos and channel. The new format with TikTok clips is especially interesting for me as I don't have TikTok, but still curious about trends in financial topics. Wishing you abundance, pleasant surprises, joy, good mood, delicious, nutritious food, and strong health. How kind is that? It's so sweet and so specific. I love it so much. Thank you dearly, Katerina. I'm so glad that you like the TikTok series. It's been hit or miss. There's some people who don't like that I'm creating that content, so I'm glad that the bulk of y'all are enjoying it. But anyways, thank you so much, Katerina. I really appreciate that, and I did put the $10 toward my business sinking fund so I can prepare for my giveaway coming up soon. And then Emma Jean bought me 5 coffees. That's equivalent to about $25. Hey Layla, thank you so much for the content you share online. It has tremendously changed my relationship and perspective on finances. I mean, I'm finally what you call a spreadsheet freak. And I love to hear that. I think it just takes some time for people. I know not everybody will end up becoming obsessed with finances or really enjoying being in the spreadsheets. But I see this with a lot of my clients even. They're like, this is so fun. This is like, I'm addicted to it now and I don't want to stop. So it's really cool to see that even just, people are experiencing that through the content that I create. So thank you so much, Emma. I love that you're a spreadsheet freak because the more, the better, in my opinion. And then with Eric, I know that I think he's a monthly supporter through Buy Me a Coffee, so he does $5 per month. I don't think I have a screenshot of that because it just automatically goes through, and he didn't leave a comment with it. However, which I thank you so much for that, Eric. I really appreciate it. But then more recently, toward the end of August, he bought me 3 coffees, so that's equivalent to $15, which is the $20 altogether. He said, really appreciate you and all your content. I keep saying it because I keep meaning it. Thank you so much, Eric. You're awesome, and it is so helpful. It's helping me to save for this giveaway. So those were the 3 supporters in the month, and then the rest of it, I just cash flowed with what was coming in. So that's the business side of things. I did have a positive balance overall, which is good, but not as much as I would prefer to have. Y'all know that I want this to be like several thousand. I've been trying to work on that throughout the year. It's just been a bit more challenging. And hopefully if I can get those brand deals and whatnot, then we can get there eventually. So now for the personal side of things, my paycheck's $2,500 gross, that's correct. Distribution, I said that was $100 less at $1,300. Extra income, which I broke this down in short form content as well, that's already up, $931.11. From my sinking funds, I pulled $386. You can see that that was from travel, which I'll talk about, and that is everything that I was working with for the month of August. Taxes, I was expecting $466.50. That was a little bit lower, $461.58, because I increased what I was putting to my 401k. 401k, I was expecting $125, but as I explained before, I decided to bump that up. So I also put in $150 on the employee side. I think it's a 6% contribution, and then I match myself the 6% as well. Roth IRA, I wanted to contribute $500. I did contribute $500. I did not add anything to my brokerage. Next up are my sinking funds, and these are all right. So emergency fund got $50, wedding sinking fund got $384, give sinking fund got $20, car/car maintenance got $160, and then car insurance did get $130. Donate, I didn't budget anything here, but I did end up donating, so that came to $89.89. Just a couple of random things came up, including a 5K. So I paid for a 5K that we're going to be doing in October for myself and my fiance, and all of it goes to the shelter here. So that's cool. I'm excited for that. I don't know if I'll run it because I like doing sprints, but not long distance running. Not that a 5K is crazy long, but I just don't train for that, and I don't know that I want to. I don't have the knees for it. It hurts. House and utilities, $1,207 is correct. I always get comments about house and utilities like, whoa, that's so good for these days, or like it'll be usually in short form content or on TikTok, honestly, where people are not as familiar with the videos that I put out here. But if you don't know, I live in this house with my fiance. This is my fiance's house, and I pay 40% of the mortgage, and then we split all utilities, including like home security, obviously electric, water, even the HOA. We split all of that 50-50. So that's why this is lower. Next up would be household. I budgeted $50, spent $36.86, got batteries, had to replace a couple of smoke detectors, so got batteries. I bought a trellis for the garden, actually for my indoor plant. I had filmed a video on that on my lifestyle channel. I bought tape for packaging. I've been selling a lot of stuff, so we ran out of tape. And then I bought a candle. Groceries, I budgeted $350. This was way higher, and I'll explain why. So this came to $638.70, and you can see here that this includes a $300 gift card. I filmed a short form video on this, but I had to spend like another few $100s on my new American Express credit card. It's the Blue Cash Preferred. I opened it like 6 months ago. In order to get the $250 bonus, you spend $3,000 in 6 months, and I didn't hit that yet. And it was at the end of August is when I would hit the 6-month mark. And I was like, what's the point? I need to get that bonus, but I didn't want to spend on random crap. So I was like, let me buy $300 worth of grocery gift cards so that I can use it in September. And that's what I did. So I hit the spending requirement, got my $250 bonus, bought the $300 gift card, of course, and now I was able to budget less for September for groceries because of that. So I'm glad that worked out, even if I went over budget for the month of August. If I didn't buy that though, I would have been under budget, which is good. For food out, I budgeted $30. I spent $20.49. I reloaded my Starbucks card, and then I got a Chipotle bowl. Gas for my car, I budgeted $75. This was higher. I typically just get gas twice a month, but I went 3 times, spent $91.79. I've been driving way more, going to my dad's house on a weekly basis, and then I think I drove just a couple more times than usual in the month. So that's why I increased what I'm budgeting for September. Health and beauty, I budgeted $300. Per usual, I went over here, $424.61. You can see everything. I paid for my prescription. I got my massage, some vitamins and supplements. I did buy electrolytes. I got some blood work done in July, and I had to pay the remainder of that bill. I also had gone to the doctor in July, had to pay that copay in August, and then I got shampoo. These are supplements. So yeah, over budget by $124.61. Dogs, I budgeted $400. This was a lot higher, not a lot higher, $518.79. For the breakdown here, I bought my foster dog treats. I got her some allergy supplements. I did buy her a new bowl just because the one I had, I really didn't think we would have her for this long. It's been over a year. And the bowl I had, I was like, all right, this will do for now. But I was like, you know what, let me just get her a new bowl. I do buy cat food now for the cat in the neighborhood that, he's always come around, and he gets food from several people, but I just like to know he's safe, so I feed him every so often. Glandex is another supplement for my foster dog, and then our 2 dogs, my sister and I's dogs, they went to the vet. That ended up being a few $100s, and then we split it. One of them is on medication, so yeah, that's what's included here. Netflix, I budgeted $26.98, but I removed my sister from my plan because she has it with her boyfriend now, so I actually just spent $17.99. Gym membership is $39.99. Gifts, I budgeted $100. Actually spent $139.35. This was for both my sister and my fiance because they have birthdays coming up. I did not pull from my gift sinking fund. I was thinking about it, but I didn't. I still could, if I wanted to in September, to just replenish this. And I may, just depending on how this month goes. But I don't know. I try to cash flow everything. If I'm paying for car maintenance, or for obviously with car insurance, I pull from my sinking funds, but for some reason with gifts, I'm like, no, just let it grow. Or it's if I absolutely feel like things are too tight, then I'll pull from it. I just like to let it sit there for whatever reason. Then personal spending, I budgeted $25, and I was doing good at first, but then just a few things came up and I went over budget. I spent $159.01. I bought 2 Brick Bears. It's these things. Let me show you. I shared this on my lifestyle channel. These things, this is the bottom half of my bear so far. It's kind of like Legos or puzzle, but I really like it because it is a display. I can have it forever after that. And my fiance and I, we've been trying to watch less TV in the evenings, or just in general. And so this has kind of been that activity to replace that. We have a lot of board games too that we like to do, but yeah, it's been fun, and I am excited for it to be complete. So I did buy 2 of those for myself. I bought myself a couple of flannels from Walmart. I love those. I did buy myself a few shirts. I bought a belt. I'm going to FinCon and I have several dress pants and I don't have a brown belt, only a black one. So I got a pretty affordable belt. And then I bought a neck pillow because we are traveling soon and it's going to be a long flight and I don't have a good neck pillow for the plane. So that will be worth it, I think. And then speaking of travel, that's the final thing on here. So wedding, I didn't budget anything for and I did not pay for anything for the wedding, but I did book some travel. Well, my fiance and I did. So that was $385.57. That's why I pulled $386 from my travel sinking fund. Honestly, my fiance may end up paying me back for this. I don't know, because this was like his idea and he offered to pay for this trip. We are going to London late November, early December. So London and Belgium, actually. Two places that weren't really on my bucket list, I suppose, but I am excited now just because we watched some videos around London and Belgium around Christmas time. And that's what I'm expecting, like the Christmas markets. I think it'll be fun. I know it's gonna be really cold. We're not gonna be there that long, unfortunately, but yeah, this is just the Airbnbs, a portion of the Airbnbs. I have to pay the rest of it later on, but this may come back to me from my fiance. We'll see. So all in all, I obviously went quite a bit over budget. And this doesn't mean my account went negative or anything like that. I didn't have any credit card debt roll into September or anything. I paid off all my credit cards by the end of the month, but I did have money left over at the beginning of August in my personal checking account, which I didn't account for here. I've started doing that moving forward because I think that since I do it up here, I might as well do that with my personal checking account. So all good all together. Not ideal that I went over budget on like the personal spending and health and beauty, but when again, I've mentioned this before, I look at like the annual tracker and I'm mostly on track. Like with personal spending, definitely on track, still there. I think I'm gonna go over budget for the year on health and beauty and dogs. I can't control everything around that, so that's fine. So now let's look at my annual tracker. This is where I log all of my savings balances, my investments. These are all on the last day of the month. After the interest has come through in my high yield savings account, it's with Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and then after the markets close. My wedding sinking fund is now at $770.65. Emergency fund is at $14,234.01. Gifts, $855.17. Travel, $606.01. Car/car maintenance is $3,056.83. Car insurance is at $389.64. Tax/insurance savings, $1,012.34. And then my business sinking fund is at $1,012.75. Altogether, over $21,900, which is an increase compared to July, which is like the first time that's happened in some time. Lately, it's just been going down because you can see I started the year, I was at 28, slowly went down, 26, 25, 24, 23, 21, and we're going back up. Now for my investments, my retirement accounts. First up would be my Roth IRA. That's at $49,324.30, up 3.6% compared to last month. My solo 401k, $47,950.10. That is also up 3.1% compared to last month. Then my brokerage account with Vanguard, $11,911.06, which is up 2% compared to last month. And altogether, over $109,000 invested, which is really cool. And this is up 3.2% compared to last month. So that's looking good. All of the numbers I just went through are down here in the yellow section. So to calculate my net worth, I do not count the value of my car or any other like physical belongings that I have. I do add in the final balance in my checking accounts though. So $1,025.77 is what that was between my business checking account and my personal checking account. So we can see that my net worth reached $132,148.63. So a new all-time high. My goal for the year is 150K. So we're getting close. I don't know if that will happen. It just depends on the market, but yeah, this is cool. I have my net worth tracker for the year. That's been up and down a little bit. And then there's the tracker from 2021 until now. So it's, just continuing to add to this. Last number on this tab would be my credit score, my Vantage score. That went down by 1 point. It's at 810. So no big changes there. And then final tab would be my goal tracker. These are the goals that I set for 2025. This template is available for purchase on my Etsy shop. So goal number 1 is to max out my Roth IRA. I did contribute $500 in the month of August. So far this year, I've contributed $5,000, which means I'm $2,000 away from maxing this out. $500 each month for the rest of the year will get me to that. I would love to reach a $150,000 or more net worth. So in August, I saw an increase of $3,440.04. Got me to 132K, and I am $17,851 away from hitting this goal. It is possible, but don't know. I set a big goal of making $120,000 or more gross in business income. I'm definitely behind on this. In August, that was $4,945.53. So far it's been about $49,000. So I'm, like 71K away from this goal. Unless something big happens with some brand deals or I don't know, something could have, this is possible, but at this rate it's looking like I'll fall short, but still pretty good overall. Next goal I've actually already reached, to have $105,000 or more in investments alone. So this does depend on the market. In August, my investment total increased by $3,379.60. So I got to 109. So yeah, 4,000 above this goal, which is good. I would like to reach a $15,000 emergency fund in August between what I put in and then the interest that accrued in my high yield savings account. That came to $105.16. So I am about $766 away from hitting this goal. Next goal is to make $10,000 or more in extra income. I'm a bit behind on this as well. So this was just kind of a fun number to try to aim for. In August, extra income was $931.11. So I am about $5,300 away from this. But so far this year, $4,600 in extra income. That's pretty good. And then final goal would be to spend less than $50,000. This excludes savings, taxes, investments, all of that. In August, it came to $3,384.47. So I am on track here. Still have about $18,800 to spend across the next 4 months, and I haven't had a problem with hitting this goal over the last few years, and I don't expect this year to be any different. So that's looking good too. That was my August. Not perfect by any means, but still progressing, which feels good. I love to see these numbers, and I'm excited for the rest of the year and see where everything ends up. But feel free to share any of the goals that you accomplished in August or how your spending was. I would love to hear it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.